Thank you.
You're welcome. So, how did you get into real estate?
Okay, so I told you, I'm telling you my whole
Mm-hmm.
story. I worked the nonprofit, I worked at AT&T,
Yep.
and it was really competitive. Like I worked in the sales. So I worked in a store and I worked at one of the biggest stores and then I worked at a store we opened up. And it was just super competitive and during the time I didn't feel like I was making as much money as I wanted to or had the freedom that I wanted to have in my life. So I was talking to my aunt, who is my broker for real estate, and I said, hey, I want to do something different. And she was like, I think that you'd be really good at real estate. And I was like, oh, nah, like, I see you. You're always on the phone. You're always talking. I don't know if that's something I want to do. She was like, no, like, just go to the school, try it out, and see if this is something you want to do. And so I kind of had like a little bit of a rocky start because I wasn't sure if that was something I wanted to really pursue. And so I went to the class. It took me a couple months to, get the test down. And then after that, I just was like, I'm gonna give it my all. Cause I saw like during that time I was shadowing and just learning the business. And so then that's how I started.
Wait, did you say in a month? Did you say the class was in a month?
Yeah, the class, it's a month. So when you
Okay.
go to real estate school,
Yep.
you pick out whatever school you want to. I went to the National Real Estate School in North Little Rock on JFK. You go to the class. It's like you can do it online because, we have COVID and all that. But then you can do it when it was my time in January 2019. I took it in person. So I took the class in person and I took it on the weekends. And then after that, it took me 6 months to pass the test.
Okay.
But
is that considered a long time? Is that considered average, normal?
I would say it was a long time because I was taking the test. This is like my truth, okay? It took me 6 times to pass the real estate exam, and I'm not ashamed of that at all because you have to really be focused. But one thing that in real estate is you take all that time to pass the exam, but that exam and the class is nothing like what you will see once you actually become licensed.
In what way? Like, what do you mean? So, in other words, it won't be as difficult. It won't be that type of look. Like, what do you mean? Are you saying like it's one of those type of deals where they take you through all this type of training and you got to do all the paperwork, but once you get in the field, it's like the paperwork, not that it doesn't matter, but it's like you're not really doing the same thing? I don't know if I'm making sense. Is that what you mean?
So what I'm saying is that in real estate, and when you become a real estate agent like myself or a licensed agent, you have to know how to run a business. And what you're learning in the class is terms, and basically you're learning like the terms and really like what real estate is. And you have math equations, which is really done by a lender. Once you get in the business, they're asking you to figure out prorated taxes. They're asking you to figure out all these costs. And when you have that knowledge as a real estate agent, it's good. But once you get in the field, that's not really the job that you have to. That's not really your role. There's different roles for everyone that's in the business.
Wow. So, do you think that 6-month period, you say you have to take the test, you failed the test 6 times?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you think the test itself was just hard? Do you think it's hard on an average for most people?
I think I didn't know what to study.
Okay.
So within the class, depending on where you take your class, you're bombarded with so much information. And my experience was in the class, there were so many people that wanted to tell their stories about real estate that we really weren't, going over all of the material that we weren't. So it was really, with real estate, it's all really self-taught. That's why it's so important to have a mentor, and it's very important which brokerage you choose, because everything you're learning is really on the job.
Wow. I mean, it's a lot about real estate. I don't know, but that's definitely something that I wouldn't have thought about.